guys. Good morning. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Carla. I hope you get to feeling better. My sinuses are crazy this morning, so I'm all snotty. Thank you, Judy. I don't think I have ever had anyone describe my energy as infectious. But I'll take it. um, okay, I'll be right back. Come on, baby. I had to let Belle out. It's cold in here this morning. So, Karen Reed starts this morning at 9. So, we've got 15 minutes of Phil Spector outside the presence of the jury. And then Adriano's going to be back to his cross exam. And I don't know how long that is. So, we'll just do that up until whenever they start Karen Reed. Um, but I also, there was a new motion that I wanted to read. So I'll do that when we get over there. Um, oh, I wanted to tell you guys about the dream I had last night. I had a dream that I was watching Saturday Night Live and they did a spoof of my YouTube channel. And I thought, oh, I have hit the big time now. Who were actually, somebody was like, "Hi, my name's Debbie Cook," and like they were doing a whole parody of my channel, and I was like, "Oh, yay!" Oh, it was bizarre. I wasn't offended at all. I was like, "Cool."
On the record, the counsel are present for both sides. The defendant is not present. I assume you're waiving this. 977.
Yes.
Okay. The people have filed a motion to require court to order the defendant to allow access to his home for the purpose of defense.
Come on. It's too early. We just started.
People wish to be heard. It's your motion.
The only thing our arguments, our legal arguments are based in are at least inserted in the motion. The only thing that's attention to is in the opposition, it seems to be directed to attention. This is a question. It's an ongoing investigation.
Well, I would turn my camera off if I had any buttons on StreamYard to do anything. Okay, now I have buttons again. I just had a white screen. I couldn't see comments or anything. Now let's try this again without my camera.
Or founded on the fact that we've gotten such late discovery, and based on Dr. Lee's testimony about where the blood drop was, where his memory of the blood drop was, the fact that the photographs come from.
Oh, that was something else I wanted to tell y'all. You guys need to watch that Henry Lee documentary that was on the CBS Connecticut YouTube channel. They start talking like the Phil Spector thing was like the first thing he did that was sketchy. Well, not the first thing. It was the first thing they found out about that was sketchy. And then they went back and found something he did in the 80s that was sketchy. So this was just the first time he got caught.
Him, the diagram, the hand sketch diagram is not to scale. We have no way of making a full determination as to where the blood drop was, and being able to measure it without getting in there. The photographs are taken inaccurately. I don't know how Mr. Ford can say otherwise. There is a plane and parallax problem with a photograph. I have a ruler here and I want to take a picture of something that's sitting on the table. If I want to take a picture of the top of it and get an accurate measure of the top, the ruler would need to be suspended at the same plane or parallax that the top of the cup is. If I want to take a picture of the bottom and measure the bottom, it needs to be there. This photograph, or the photographs that we were submitted, has the ruler suspended in midair somewhere between the blood drop and the camera lens. That gives us absolutely no accurate indication as to the size of the blood drop, and size determination is going to be incredibly important. The reason that we went ahead and filed this on Friday and are asking for a relatively expedited access is because the court has given us a very limited time frame, 20 days, basically, to get all of our analysis done. We're trying to comply with the court's order and get that analysis done as quickly as possible. This is not going to be overly invasive. We simply need to get in there to that area, make some measurements, take some photographs, and get out. That's what we're asking for.
Thank you. Defense?
Just briefly, Your Honor, I wasn't clear what the issue was as far as what proceeding they wanted to do this investigation on, but as we've also filed this morning, basically just putting in writing what Mr. Bruton mentioned before, is that, sorry,
The record there's not present.
this hearing that we're having is not, but there's really no legal requirement that the court order discovery or has the authority to order discovery regarding the hearing. The only discovery in a criminal case is the statute 1054. They're in effect asking what sometimes happens in civil cases, a site visit or a location visit to investigate something like, let's say, the slip and fall type case. It's not clear that there's no refer. In effect, discovery is really significant here, given the constitutional guarantees that are attended to that. So I've cited the cases that I feel are relevant to the issue. We feel very strongly about it. This has come across, sort of during the middle of this hearing. I don't think there's any real reason to rush this. I mean, we're having the hearing this
Jelly Bean, feel free to insult StreamYard today because I have barely gotten started and it is being its usual biatch of a self.
of our continued opposition to the court's inquiry, and we filed a brief on that subject this morning.
Yes, I read it. people?
The information that it needs at this point.
I may me no law that allows me to do what you want me.
I'll submit, Your Honor. I think the court's armed with all the information that it needs at this point.
I may be armed with all the information, but you've cited me no law that allows me to do what
The
you.
reason that we asked for the court order is because we didn't want to go. We wanted this to be a full, complete hearing, kind of up front. We could have asked for a search warrant.
I was just about to say, it seems to me your remedy is to apply for a search warrant.
And we could certainly do that. We opted. I mean, that was. Those were kind of the two choices. We didn't want it to appear as though we weren't giving the defense notice, that we weren't giving the court notice, that we weren't doing it in full open view for everybody to see and hear. That's why we opted for the option of the court order. And I think the court does have inherent authority to allow the prosecution access to the general areas of investigation. Mr. Plord brings up this, the hearing concerning the missing white object. This is not necessarily attendant to that hearing. Certainly this has come up through Dr. Lee's testimony, but this is attendant to late discovery. We have been asking for those negatives for weeks and weeks and weeks. We got them on Wednesday when Dr. Lee decided to finally join us and bring them with him. This is an ongoing investigation. It always will be until the end of the trial. If this happened at a Kmart, we simply walk into the Kmart because it's open to the public, or let's say the sidewalk outside of Kmart, it's open to the public and we can take our measurements. This happens to be inside the foyer of Mr. Spector's home. That's why we needed the court to get involved.
And there's the difference between the Kmart. This is someone's home. Although it may indeed have been a crime scene, the crime scene at some point was released by the people. Even with Dr. Lee's late discovery, the bottom line is it still would have taken place long after this crime scene had been released and someone is living in their home. I don't believe that whatever inherent authority the court has allows me to invade someone's home absent a search warrant. So whether you come to me or go to some other judge and attempt to show probable cause for the issuance of a search warrant, you've certainly gone on record that you've revealed that you're not doing this, in the form of an ex parte motion, though a search warrant would be. Everybody's on notice, but I'm not going to sign an order on my own saying that you can go into Mr. Spector's home.
And we'll address it in the other forum.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've thought of that. Mr. Bruno and I discussed that very issue, that's one theory that they could come up with, given the fact that there's a staleness issue. And I don't know whether a search warrant is legally proper.
Nor do I. And I'm not opining that a search warrant would be signed by myself or another judge. I'm simply saying that's another alternative that someone can apply. It doesn't mean one is going to be issued, and I'll just leave it at that.
Right, and the same, at least we have some remedies if it's issued, 1, 2, if it's issued improperly, we got motions we can bring, and
Absolutely.
Very good. So again, we don't want to suggest that we're granted that procedure, and I don't think we could have said that either. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown?
One final point on that subject, and then another subject. We wanted the people to be aware not only the passage of time, the 4 years since the relevant point in time, but also there have been rehabilitation efforts to clean the scene. So the scene is not the same. There's no probable cause to believe it would be the same at this point. They couldn't establish that foundation. So just so everybody is aware of that.
Are you saying that stain is no longer present?
I haven't personally looked at. I know that the carpet's been replaced both on the area where the big blood stain was and the carpet going up the stairs. I believe that there have been, the stairs have been refinished due to the workmen's scratches and so forth when they replaced the carpet. So whether or not that particular area has changed, I don't know, and I'm probably not equipped to say that.
Well, somebody should find out as soon as possible. And the reason being, if somebody should come to me hypothetically for a search warrant, then that information, if it's becomes known, certainly has some relevancy as to whether there is probable cause to believe that any evidence would be recovered.
There's no stain. I looked at it last night on my way into town, and there is no stain.
Okay.
And Mr. Brunon is correct that it's not, that there are some differences. There's been nothing done since Friday when they filed a motion. We made sure that nothing was touched since then. But way before that, for unrelated reasons, obviously, the carpet has been replaced totally. Other rehabilitative efforts, as Mr. Brunon has been there to believe that.
No, you can't go back in the house. But if you submit a search warrant, I might sign it. Well, that's awkward.
For years, a blood stain would be there. Nobody would clean it. That just didn't happen. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
And I would simply say we didn't think there would be a little stain there. We think that the stair is still there and the stain is sitting on the stair. And through an analysis through our criminalists, the size of that stain could be determined through the grains in the wood on that stair. That's why we need access to the stair, as long as the stair hasn't been replaced.
Do you have any?
There's been some revarnishing and so forth, and I don't know. I didn't analyze the grain of the wood. I didn't do that. But just like the theory that they're going to do this structural reconstruction of the blood drop that was scraped up by Dr. Lee, I asked Ms. Kenny, I said, have you ever heard of that? Because I had never heard of that. And she hadn't heard of it. And I called over the weekend and to a number of qualified experts, says, what is structural reconstruction of a blood drop that's scraped up? And not one of them could tell me what that is scientifically. I'm not sure what they're doing. They could weigh it, but they really can't reconstruct a blood drop that's, and I think reconstructing what they're trying to do here is pie in the sky. But nonetheless, they're free to pursue whatever remedies they want, and we'll just take them one at a time. That's all we can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
As far as your opposition to the court's motion, I think the people need a chance to respond to that. There have been numerous cases, or do you? It's probably an inappropriate time to raise it in any event, since we're not holding the hearing right now.
Right, whenever they have a time to look at it and respond, I did email
I
it
haven't
to.
even seen it.
I think I emailed it to Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jackson and other people over the weekend, but that's fine. Whenever the court has time to address it, we're just asking for some court information.
Well, the information, without, obviously, since the people haven't seen it, the information, I think you're entitled to it. I don't have a problem with what you're asking for. Certainly from the court, anything I have, you've already been told about, seen.
Sure.
Talked about. I don't think there's any court record. I think there's a written order appointing Professor Levinson, which you're certainly entitled to. I don't have a copy of it, but we'll see that you get it.
Yeah,
No problem with that.
Yeah, my thought is before we close out the hearing, we want to make sure we review, do some due diligence as to all of these items. In particular, I asked Mr. Jackson for a copy of his ex parte application that he showed me in chambers one day. He just showed me a portion of the declaration. He declined to give it to me. I don't know why we wouldn't be entitled to pleadings.
You would be now that we've had a hearing, quite frankly.
Okay,
Certainly.
Okay, very good.
You will get that.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bruno?
Your Honor, regarding Mr. DeSouza, there was a meeting last week that we discussed briefly. I haven't received discovery of the contents of that meeting other than what Mr. Jackson informed all of us in the Chambers conference. I bring that up today because Mr. Jackson's trying to facilitate it getting prepared. I just don't have it. And therefore, I have purposefully stayed away from any questions that go to why he didn't meet with the defense, what is rationalization or justification. I don't want to open that door. I've informed the people. I wanted to put it on the record that because I don't have the discovery, I'm staying away from there. I'm not opening the proverbial door.
So what discovery is it that you're seeking?
There was a meeting between Mr. Jackson and an assistant at Mr. DeSouza's house last week. Mr. DeSouza mentioned a phone call he had from, he thought, Mr. Shapiro and the contents of that.
Oh, right.
So and that was a foundational fact for conceptually why he didn't meet with the defense. So I'm not asking him why he didn't. I'm not asking him that he didn't. I'm staying away from it.
Okay. Is there anything? Okay. Are we almost ready? I just have a couple pieces of business that have nothing to do with the trial I need to address, and then are we?
All right. Well, all I was going to do is, Your Honor, since we're getting close to the end of this hearing, I was hoping to mark 4 photographs. These photographs, as the court may recall, Dr. Lee brought some negative.
Yes.
The offer of proof would be that the 4 photographs that I marked, 58, 59, 60, and 61, are blow-ups of those negatives. 58, the court already has this a little clearer version. 59 would be a blow-up of 58, 60, 61 or other wood chips. Courts.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me just mark those, but we have them marked. Those will be courts. Now I'm trying to just time constraints. I understand we had met prior to trial, and we went over certain dates that various counsel were going to need off, that they had prior engagements. We were giving the jurors, obviously, some of them have time constraints where they have to be out of town to get something done, and we had talked about it. My understanding is Wednesday afternoon, we had agreed a juror needs time off to, I believe, get an award from their work or something we had agreed to.
It's Wednesday morning.
Wednesday, so we'll be in session Wednesday afternoon. Is there anything we can do Wednesday morning then? Perhaps, maybe more of the hearing? We're going to have some time. I'd like to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, so let's plan just informally to take up the hearing again on Wednesday morning. And then Thursday, I've been reminded that some of our out-of-town East Coast Council had requested, since there's a holiday coming up, that they please be allowed to go home and spend the holiday at home. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I think we can manage that, so we won't be in session on Thursday, okay? So that you can plan for witnesses. That seems only fair.
So we're going to have a normal schedule on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, we'll be in session all day. Thursday, out of deference, counsel from the East Coast, they should be allowed occasionally to see family, friends, and enjoy a normal life. So I think we can manage that day off then. So we'll resume in this in just 3 or 4 minutes.
Thank you,
okay?
Judge.
Thank you.
Courtesy.
All right.
All right, Court TV, we don't have time for buffering today. Come on. We have a poor, innocent woman.
This court is now in session. The Honorable Larry Paul Fidler, Judge presiding.
All right, the defendant is present with his counsel. The district attorneys are present. The jurors and alternates are present. The witness previously sworn and still under oath is on the stand, and you may proceed, Mr. Bruno.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. DeSouza. Since we were here last Wednesday, have you spoken to anybody about your testimony?
No,
No one.
not at all.
Okay. And have you reviewed any materials, transcripts, articles, reports, anything at all?
No. No.
Okay. That was kind of a long no.
Yeah, I got some papers that you asked from last time. That's it.
In terms of any prior statement of your own, you haven't read that?
No.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about.
That was a long no. What the heck was that? I do not like this attorney. He's a jerk.
The night of February 2nd and the morning of February 3rd of 2003, okay?
Okay.
So that's the general time frame we're going to be. Now, The times that you had driven Mr. Spector in the past, those were all social type occasions, is that right?
Yes.
And he would sometimes be accompanied with a woman, a friend, a woman type friend?
Yes, most of them.
Okay. Miss Rami Davis, you had driven her on one previous occasion, correct?
Yeah.
And I had mentioned Nancy Sinatra was someone that you'd driven in the past, is that right?
Yes.
Now, on all of these occasions, on these prior occasions, you never saw Mr. Spector with a gun, did you? Briefcase that he carried, a little leather satchel, you know what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Whenever you handled that, put something into it, moved it from the seat, gave it to Mr. Spector, you never saw anything that appeared to be a gun in that, did you?
No.
On the night, or I guess it would be night in February, on the night of February 2nd, you went to Mr. Spector's house to pick him up to take him somewhere, is that right?
Yes.
Did you know where you were going?
Not at that time.
Okay. When you arrived at the location, you noted, or at some point in time, you noted that on the boundary wall, there's some writing. Is that?
Yes.
And do you remember what the writing says?
There's the address, the Mr. Spector's address, and I think it's a Pyreneo Castle, something like that. It's like a name of the castle, name of of his house. I
Okay.
think it's a Pyreneo's Castle, something like that.
Pyrenees?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what the name. Yeah, but like that you said.
Okay.
For me, it's okay.
Okay. Did you recognize that to be Pyrenees, to be a reference to the mountains in Spain?
He is going to accentuate every time he doesn't say something completely perfectly because he's a jerk. Oh my God.
Yes, I think I studied that in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I studied in the past.
Studied it in the past. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know that that writing, that name, residence was into it 90 years ago by the guy that built it?
Sustained.
Do you have any reason to believe that Mr. Spector is the one that wrote Pyrenees Castle on the outside?
Objection, that would call for speculation.
Are you familiar with this handwriting?
No.
The objection is sustained.
When you saw Mr. Spector that evening, how was he dressed?
He was like a black shirt, black pants, and white or cream jacket.
Okay, you've referred to the jacket in the past as white or beige, white or cream. Just so we can do kind of a color check, I guess. Your Honor, I'm holding up a piece of photocopy paper. What color is this?
It's white.
Okay. And I'm holding up a manila folder. You see that?
It's a cream.
Okay. So what color was the jacket?
More like that you have in your left hand.
The
Yes,
beige?
beige.
The manila folder?
Yes.
Is that a clear memory you have?
Yes.
So you wouldn't describe the jacket as bright white jacket?
No, it's not white. It's
And you saw that jacket throughout that evening, didn't you?
yes.
And your best memory is that it's a beige color.
Yes.
When you saw him, was he neatly dressed? That is, were his clothes pressed? You understand the word neatly?
Oh God.
Yes.
Okay. Did he appear to be neatly dressed?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't rumpled, didn't look like he'd slept in his clothing, correct?
No, he's always like well dressed all the time.
Okay. And his hair, he had a longer curly hairstyle.
I apologize, y'all. I am feisty this morning. I don't know why, but I am feisty today.
At that point.
Yes.
Did that hairstyle appear as if it had been maintained or coiffed? Is that a word you recognize?
Objection, that calls for speculation. It also is irrelevant.
Well, so I'm going to overrule it. I think he can offer an opinion, and I think appearance has some marginal relevance, so the objections are overruled. You can ask.
Yes.
The other day, you were shown a photo that wasn't very complimentary to Mr. Spector. His hair appeared to be messed up. He appeared to be kind of haggard or tired. That's not the way he looked when you saw him that night, is it?
When I pick him up, no.
So you pick him up. He said, we're going to go get Miss Davis. Somehow informed you were going to North Hollywood, and then thereafter you'd be going to the grill. Is that right?
Yeah, he told me to go to Century City, Universal City. And then when I arrived there, and after he picked her up, he told me to go to the grill.
Okay. And went to the grill, waited as they did whatever they did inside, have dinner, have a drink, whatever. Then you saw them. How much time passed? How long were they out of your sight while they were in the restaurant?
Probably they spent like 2 hours inside, around 2 hours.
Okay. Do you remember what time it was when they came out?
It was around 10:15.
And what was Mr. Spector's attitude when he came out of the restaurant?
It wasn't normal. He's normal.
Was or wasn't?
He was normal. Yeah.
Was normal.
Was normal.
He appeared to be happy and good spirits.
Oh, yes.
And Miss Davis, she appeared to be happy and also in good spirits.
Yes.
And from that point, the three of you drove back to Universal City, North Hollywood, and dropped her off. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
And you went back to the grill.
Yes.
And anything unusual happen going to Universal City or returning back to the grill?
No, they are talking. It's nothing.
Okay. You were talking?
No, Mr. Spector was talking with her.
Mr. Spector?
Spector was talking with Miss Holmes.
Okay. After, do you remember anything of that conversation?
No.
After you dropped off Miss Davis and were returning back to the grill, and then Mr. Spector asked you to drive over to Trader Vic's, is that right?
Correct.
And is that right?
The Trader Vic's.
I'm sorry, you're right. Trader Vic's, and you waited outside, is that right?
Yes, correct.
And how long was that period?
Around an hour.
Now, my recollection is that last week you asked about Mr. Spector's condition when he left the grill. You said he was different. You said his walk was different, if memory serves. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did he appear to be? How was his walk different? Can you describe that?
Difficult to walk. He had some difficult to walk.
It was difficult for him to walk.
Yes.
How could you tell that?
Because he was like I think Miss Sullivan was like helping him or something like that, but he was not like a user, but he was different.
Well, every time you've ever seen him, he had high heels.
Yes, correct.
So he should be used to those, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the high heels weren't an issue, were they?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
all right. What you're suggesting is that perhaps he was intoxicated.
I didn't say that.
No, I know you didn't, but that's what you're suggesting. Is that what you're suggesting, that the reason he was walking different was because he was intoxicated?
No.
Your Honor, that misstates the testimony It also assumes facts, not evidence, that he's suggesting anything. He answered a question.
Well, the last question, however, was, are you suggesting that? So I'll allow the witness to answer that question.
Thank you.
No.
Okay. But in any event, his walk was different. He was having difficulty walking. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So he wasn't walking normally. Is that correct?
No.
All right, let me, that's a double negative, so I have to ask this again. Was he walking in a normal manner when he left Trader Vic's?
No.
And are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
Because at the grand jury, you were asked about that. You said he was walking in a normal manner. Do you recall
I
that?
remember that.
Okay, could we get grand jury page 147, lines 1 through 6 out, please? Okay, can you, from where you are, can you read that, Mr. Casals?
Yes.
And that seems to say, now, did you notice anything unusual about Mr. Spector at that point when he came out of Trader Vic's? Answer no. He still seemed to be normal. Answer yes. That's what you testified at the grand jury. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Why are you saying it something different today?
I did not.
You don't know?
I did not say different. I said, over there it says that it seemed to be normal. I said that he was not walking normal. That's it.
Well,
And I didn't say any time that he was drunk.
well, how did he come out of Trader Vic's? He was walking, wasn't he?
Yes.
And so when you say he seemed normal, you're including the walking part, right?
No.
No? When someone asks you, how does he appear when he, well, let me finish, please, and I'll let you finish, all right? When someone asks you, how did he appear when he exited a location, and you say normal, are you saying that you were excluding the walking part?
No. Okay, there could be yes. If you want me to answer yes, yeah, but I try to explain to you, sir, that's all.
Well, if he's normally drunk when he walks out of Trader Vic's, then that would be normal.
Mr. DeSouza, I don't want you to do anything but give me your best recollection or your best memory. If your memory's changed, you're saying it's not normal. So, we're trying to figure out which one was it. Do you remember?
Yes,
So which one was it?
he was walking like different.
Okay, so can you tell us then why a year or so ago, or actually 2 years almost now, back in September of 2004, over 2 years ago, you said it was normal. Why would you say that then if it wasn't?
It's cross, overruled.
Do you repeat again?
Why would you say it was normal? It wasn't.
Objection.
And that's the difference. The objection is sustained. You may rephrase it.
Why would you say he appeared normal if, when you noticed him walking, his walk did not appear normal? Why wouldn't you point that out?
The walk was not normal. He was normal. He looks like normal.
He's normal. His walk is just not normal. That's your explanation?
Yes.
Okay. Between Trader Vic's and Dan Tana's restaurant, that's also mile and a half, something like that.
Yes, correct.
Is there any talking between those 2 points by Mr. Spector?
Few talking.
I'm sorry?
Few words, I think.
Okay, a little talking.
Yes.
Do you remember what was said?
I think he asked her to go to Dantana's, and she said that she was tired at that point. That's it.
You could understand that?
Yeah, that time, yes.
Okay, talking was normal.
was normal.
Okay. Was his voice slurred at that time?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Because when you talked, you remember talking to Detective Fournier and Tomlin on February 3rd of 2003, the very day that we're talking about? You remember talking to
I
them?
remember.
I'm sorry?
I remember.
Yeah, and you tried to tell them partly what you saw, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And did you tell those gentlemen that after Trader Vic's, his words were slurred and it sounded like blah, blah, blah? Remember saying that?
Not at that point, sir.
Is he trying to prove that he was drunk or not? I can't even tell from these questions. What is the point? Is he just trying to prove that this witness isn't credible, or what?
All right. I'm going to ask you if you recall the following testimony. This is on page 68, starting at line 8. I don't think we have this for the overhead, but
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel's going to read it. That's improper impeachment at this point.
I believe he's offering it as a prior inconsistent statement, not to refresh his recollection. Are you offering to refresh his recollection or as a prior inconsistent statement?
I'm going to ask him if this is his prior statement, which I believe to be inconsistent.
Okay.
Mr. DeSouza, you were asked a question. After Trader Vic's, they started to drink. I'm going to give the names of the speakers so that you can follow this, okay? Tomlin, but this is you said blah, blah, blah. Basically, he was slurring his words and you couldn't understand. DeSouza, yeah. Tomlin, okay, he wasn't actually saying blah, 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 blah. DeSouza, he was not doing like proposito. Is that a Brazilian word, by the way?
I know.
What is that word?
I think it. I have to read. I'm not sure. I have to see.
May I approach her?
You may.
Directing your attention to line 17. You can read it. It helps you put it in context.
It's this one. It's like he didn't want to do that. It's like that.
Yeah, I'm just asking you now. What is when you say what did you
I don't
mean?
know. I don't know if like they got like the wrong the wrong word.
But it's not a word you recognize in any language, I take it.
I can recognize like something like close to that.
Can you spell out for the reporter?
I can.
I can understand the answer first, but it's not a word you recognize in any language, I take it.
And I said that it's close. I recognize a word close.
Could you spell that?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. It's Proposito.
Thank you.
What's the close word?
It's proposito. Proposito.
Proposed?
Proposito.
Could you spell that for us?
It's the same, almost the same. It's Prosito, but it has like some accent in the second O.
Now, all right, you went on. He can't finish the sentence. Tomlin, sentence. Fournier, okay. DeSouza, okay. Fournier, he was saying real words, but DeSouza, no. Fournier, no. DeSouza, he's like going blah, 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 blah. Tomlin, was he trying to say words or was he actually going, or actually blah, blah, blah? DeSouza, I'm not sure if he was kidding, but I don't think so. Fournier, you couldn't understand him. DeSouza, because we don't have to, this guy acts like he's And then there's cell phone ringing and okay, it's okay. This guy acts different from others. And you went on to talk about something else. So you recall telling those folks your memory the day of the event was that after you left Trader Vic's and heading over to Dan Tana's, the language was.
I saw that, probably said that, but I don't know.
Okay. So you agree to say it, you just don't remember saying it. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, at that time, no.
Okay. I mean, that's when the events were clearest in your mind, isn't it?
Yeah, some, yes.
Well, things normally don't get clearer with the passage of time, do they?
Objection. That's argument.
Sustained.
In your experience, Mr. DeSouza, is something clearer the day it happened or 4 years later? The way your memory works, in your experience, is something clearer in your memory the day it happens, or let's start a smaller passage of time.
There's a lot of things in my memory clear. There's some that I don't remember.
In any event, you got to Dan Tana's, is that right?
Yes,
And they went inside.
yes.
And how long were they in there?
Inside,
Yes.
around 40 minutes, probably.
Okay. Came back out, is that right?
Yes,
Did you see him walk out?
yes.
How was he walking?
At that time was not like so bad.
So he got better while he was in the restaurant?
Objection. That's not evidence.
Sustained.
Okay, you said he was walking with difficulty when he left Trader Vic's, right?
Yes,
40 minutes passes, he's in the restaurant, and he comes out, and you say he's walking better. Is that right?
I didn't say walking better. I just say that I didn't, at that time, I didn't like pay attention in his walk. It was like I had the antenna shot. And I remember that I opened the doors and he was coming in.
But in the past, you've described his walking, haven't you?
Probably I don't remember.
Well, if you're asked a question and you answer it, to the police officers, to the grand jury, to some formal type of proceeding, if you give an answer, you believe the answer to be correct at the time you give it, don't you?
Yes,
You're not making stuff up just to find any old answer, are you?
yes, right.
Listen to that question again. You're not making stuff up just to make an answer, are you?
No,
And at the grand jury, you testified that when Mr. Spector came out of that restaurant, his walking and his balance was okay. You recall that?
I don't recall that.
Well, thinking back now, when he left that restaurant, was his walking and balance okay?
I think so, I'm not sure.
Okay. So whatever difficulty you noted when he came out of Trader Vic's, you didn't see that when he came out of Dan Tana's, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, as he was leaving the restaurant, you said there were a couple younger guys somewhere near the entranceway, is that right?
Yes,
And one of the guys told Mr. Spector something, is what you said, is that right?
yes.
What did they tell Mr. Spector?
I don't know.
Mr. Spector stopped and looked at the one or both of them for a few seconds, is that right?
Correct.
How long was that? Do you remember now?
Probably 5-10 seconds. Was not like so long.
Okay. And did he say anything?
No,
When he got into the car afterwards, did he say anything?
he didn't.
You testified last week that you believed Mr. Spector was mad and upset. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And you formed that opinion based on looking at him for 5 to 10 seconds as he looked at the fellows by the entrance?
yes.
Do you know him that well? You can tell what he's thinking, what his emotional state is, 5 or 10 seconds?
I had like a, what I say that? I had a problem with him like in the past, with
Well,
Mr. Spector.
Okay, well, I'm not asking about the problems in the past. I'm asking about this particular incident.
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is editorializing and the witness is answering the question that he asked before.
I won't say that he's editorializing, but he is answering your question. He's indicating how he came to that conclusion.
So this,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Mr. Brunon. I would ask that the witness the court maybe inquire whether or not he finished his answer.
Have you finished your answer, sir?
No, not yet.
All right, go ahead and finish your answer.
And I had a problem with him like in the past, and he was mad with me, I think. He was confused at that time, and I saw his face like, was the same face that he had like an outside of the antennas.
okay, so the expressions are mad, upset, and now confused?
No, sir, was mad.
Okay, because you just,
I told you that he was confused at the time that he made, that he was upset with me.
okay. So the other time he was confused.
Yes, he didn't like, he was think that he was upset with me. I didn't make anything wrong.
All right. Any event, based on whatever expression that you saw there, you thought he might be upset that night.
Yes.
But he didn't say anything, didn't do anything, did
No.
he? Okay. Well, he did do something. He asked you to drive to House of Blues, right?
Yes.
And you did that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, between Dan Tanas and Blues, that's again about him.
Yes, it is.
And any talking on that portion of the trip?
I think, I'm gonna say no, I don't remember, but yeah, I don't remember.
So you couldn't say he was slurring his speech at that point?
No, I don't remember.
At the House of Blues, you first parked at the wrong spot. Miss Sullivan, Mr. Spector got out and immediately got back in, right?
Yes,
And you drove to the correct spot, is that right?
yes,
And Mr. Spector and Miss Sullivan got out, walked into the club, right?
yes,
And there's a driveway, a little curb, and then some stairs going into the club, is that right?
yes.
And did you watch him as he went in?
No, I just opened the door and they both got out of the car. I don't remember that. If I was looking, he's walking.
Well, weren't you checking to make sure he got into the club okay?
Just he left the car, I closed the doors and I got in the car.
So were you concerned that he might not make it into the club?
No,
So he was okay at that point, I take it, is that right?
yes,
Okay. And how long was he in the club?
almost around 30, 40 minutes.
Now, during that 30 to 40 minutes, that's where the lady came out and asked you to take Miss Sullivan home, is that right?
That's correct.
So about, what time was it when you next saw Mr. Spector?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
When Mr. Spector came back out of the club, what time was it then?
It was after 2:30, around 2:30.
Okay. How was he walking point? Okay. So did it appear to you that he was having difficulty walking?
I think so, but I'm not sure. And that right now, I'm not sure. But he was like she was helping him
How was she helping him?
with her arms.
What was she doing with her arms?
She was like just like coming close. I think he was like hanging her arm, something like that. I'm not sure at that time, but
Well, are you?
Okay, guys, I know we're right in the middle of something. And I hate to end it there, but the Karen Reed hearing started, so let's go over there. and get even more frustrated. So we're about half an hour in on that one. So we'll pick that one up again tomorrow morning. So I'll see you over at Karen Reed. Bye, guys.